Hey guys, this is Joe Metalone, and today we're going to take a look at some of the updates to filltext.com. So if you're not familiar with filltext.com, it is a website that lets you generate JSON data sets for testing and demonstration purposes. And it does this through a RESTful API. Now, I did try to make this video yesterday, and the URL address bar was just too small, and I tried one that I could blow up a little bigger, and it just wasn't working. So I wrote this cool little quick HTML page that lets me type into this text field and then just loads the results into the iframe below. So to get started, let's say we're going to bring up rows equals 5. So we've got 5 rows of data here, and let me make that pretty equals true. So now you can see, we're bringing it in, and we've got 5 empty objects. And again, if you need to get up to speed on this, just go back to my last video on filltext.com, and most of this will make sense. So just fleshing out kind of a standard example. We'll do full name equals last name, and let's say f name equals first name, and company equals, we're going to do business, which is one of the new functions, one of the new functional objects that you can use. There's a bunch of those, so they're just listed on the website. And then we'll say position equals, and we'll do one of, let's see, CEO, CIO, and C3PO. Okay. See, I got a typo there. First name. Okay. So this generated 5 rows of these objects that we defined with the last name and the first name and the company. And you can see the company is really just taking a random last name and pairing it up with one of many suffixes. So we got LLC, corporation, services, all sorts of things of that nature if you need a business name. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is we now have the ability to concatenate objects. So let's say I want to make this full name equals last name, and then I'm going to join that with first name. So now when I run this, I've got a full name that takes, a random first name and last name and throws it together. And if I wanted to, kind of mess with this even more, let's say I'm going to take this and I'm going to concatenate that here. So now I'm going to get first name, last name, and their title at their company, so CIO. And if I wanted to say, let's concatenate the entire thing, so I could say tilde at, so I can just pass in the value just like we normally can at this business, and then let's do in, we'll just get a US state. So now I'm just going to get this one thing, full name. Obviously that doesn't make a lot of sense, but we've got the first name and last name, the position, our value of at, the business, our value of in, and Wyoming. So that works pretty well. So let's take a step back here, and we'll go back to f name equals first name, and L name equals, whoa, man, I cannot type today, equals last name, and oops, nice typo there. Okay, now I got a first name and a last name. Another thing that we can do right now, and I do have my DevTools open here for a reason. I'm going to clear out what we've got there right now, and I'm going to tack onto this a delay. And the way the delay works, you just pass in the number of seconds that you want the results to be delayed by. The reason you might do this is, I did a video on creating an Angular loading indicator, and I utilized the delay to indicate that, hey, this is taking a little time to load. So when I run that, it's going to take about 3 seconds for the data to come back. And we can see it actually took 3.05 seconds. So it's not precise, but it's certainly approximate. So 4 seconds, and I don't know if you can see this down here, but it took 4.04 seconds. Another one that we can do is we can simulate errors with the ERR error flag. So error equals 501. We get it not implemented, and you can see down here, excuse me, that the browser is getting the appropriate response as well. 404. We've got all these listed on the website. I think we cover pretty much every single one, including some of the weird ones like I'm a teapot. You can see it's actually generating that error and giving it back in the headers to the browser. Okay, so that's some pretty cool stuff. We can concatenate objects, we can delay things, we can simulate errors. Another cool thing we can do, so we've got this data set right here. I'm going to run that. We've got these, 5 people, first name and last name. And something we can do here is save the data equals true. So I'm just adding that on to this. And what's going to happen, well, I'll go ahead and run it. I'm going to get a new data set. But in this first position, in the 0 position of our array, we've got this object that has a single key of FTID, and then it gives us this value here. So I'm going to copy that, and what I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to open up a new browser window to our same HTML page here. What I can do, let me copy this, and I'll open up another one. So filltext.com/. Now what I can do is I can say get the data equals, and I could pass in that key value, and it gives me that same data back. If I jump over here, you can see we had Ganesh Polterman, and here we've got Polterman Ganesh. So it's not in the exact order, which is standard for JSON, and I can still add on pretty equals true if I want, and I've got that data. So a shortcut to doing that, rather than doing get the data, is just get. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a / there, so now it will get that data, and it's set up to be prettified. Obviously, I can still use this. I could technically use delays. If I want to delay that data by 3 seconds, bring out my dev tools here, and I didn't catch it. Let me do that again. Delay it by 3 seconds, and 3.16 that time. So a little bit longer that time. But anyways, so we've stored that data. That's, really cool. We can reuse that without having to write up the entire, big long string that we had to do before. And obviously this is a pretty simple example, but you can see how that's going to save you a lot of time. Now the rule is we are storing data for 6 hours from the time it's created, which should be plenty of time for just about any demonstration or getting things set before you do a demonstration. The other thing you can do here is if we only wanted that first record, I could pass in a /0 to get that record. If I wanted the second record, there's the second record. If I wanted the third record, there's the third record. Also, if I just wanted the LNAME value, of the second record, LNAME. So Crenshaw, if we go back here to our full data, what was that? 2, so it's going to be our third record. 1, 2, 3. The LNAME is Crenshaw. We can see the first name is Gene, so let's say I wanted that. F name, so Gene. So I'm getting that data back, which is awesome. Okay, so what else can we do? We can edit this data. So instead of get, we're going to use edit. I'm going to keep my / there, and I'm going to say, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to use get to get this data, just so we've got a copy of it here. Let's make that pretty equals true. So we can see that. So this first guy is Ganesh Polterman. So I'm going to edit his record. So /0, another /, and I'm just going to pass in the key. So F name equals, and I'm going to change that to Joe. So again, before we do that, we can see here that the first name is Ganesh. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the edit flag. I'm passing in my dataset ID. Then I'm selecting that first record, the 0 bound record, and I'm saying F name equals Joe. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to return to me the entire record, the new updated record. But let's go back here and run this again. And we can see, in fact, it did update it to Joe. So that's cool. All right, so then the last thing we can do is delete. We don't need any of this extra stuff, so I want to delete that first record. So again, we can see the first record here is now Joe Polterman. And if I come over here and run this delete against the ID and the index of the item I want to delete, hit enter. Of course, I am getting back null, which is the record that I deleted. It's now null. Come over here, and it's important to note that the length of our array, our object, is still the same, but we've got a null value in the first position. So we've deleted that for good. So there you go. That is a quick look at some of the updates for, we're going into, or it is November now, 2013. I think the software has come a long way since it was launched just a few months ago. And honestly, I haven't had that much time to work on it, but I think a lot of cool stuff is happening. I've got a lot of cool ideas going forward. Oh, you know what? I didn't even show you. I got to show you this really quick because this will be something cool. So rows equals 5 and avatar equals image, and I'm going to pipe in an option here 100 by 100, and you can see what it returns is just all these URLs as a source for an image. And if I use that, let's jump over here. So I'm going to, and actually I'm going to get rid of this here. I'm going to this address. I'm getting a 100 by 100 image. That's very limited right now. You're just getting gray pictures, but it is returning an image. If I take that and drop into full browser, 100 by 500, 1000 by 1000. You know, this is the image. It is a PNG, if I'm not mistaken. I think I set it up to be a PNG. But there's going to be a lot more options with this. Kind of the standard options you would expect to get with a placeholder image type service. But at this point, you just pass in the dimensions. You get the URL, or you could technically just go straight to the URL or use that in like an NG source or an image source or whatever the case may be. But again, you know, just kind of tacking that on there. So that's fill text in a nutshell as it stands right now. There's a lot more to come, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good one.